All right, welcome back. How's
We're
everyone
back.
doing? I hope you guys are having a good time out there. We are now into the winners round 2. So this is the winners round of 8. So the winners of these games are headed into top 6 and again until game number 2. Yes, we can see the bracket here. We've got snrplat going up against Angelacho, which will be our first game of round 2. That's what we got here for you on the cast.
So that game was seen off stream. Angelacho ended up taking the win to move on further into the winner's side to go up against Plat here. Last game, we saw a lot of Adoraboros. We saw Mashuk, which is going to be the highlight of Toxic, which is probably going to be this next matchup here, is going to be a story of Toxics. Plat ends up having a half team of a Toxic core. Angelacho also has a couple Toxics of their own. And it seems as if Plat just has to take the Tulkin out, and those 4 Toxics just reign as free as possible.
Yeah, I would say sort of. There's a lot of Tems on Angelacho's team that I think actually do give Plat a lot more problem than people give them credit for. Tems like Garunder, Gyalis, and Adoraboros are all very, very strong Tems into Plat, who is carrying 4 Toxics and 1 neutral, and a Mimit, which doesn't normally have a very consistent type. So I think Garunder in particular presents a pretty sizable threat to Plat's team. It's very hard to hit it super effectively. He doesn't have a lot of crystal damage. He doesn't have a lot of earth damage, and that's something you can notice that makes a Tem like Gyalis or a Garunder a lot more problematic for him than you would imagine. Plat's team is just very mathematically powerful. It has a ton of bulk. It is great at dealing pure damage. It's great at controlling the flow of play, and he's great at all of a sudden not stumbling, but like all of a sudden creating a win condition and putting the other player kind of past the point of no return. His teams have this inevitability factor to them when they're playing well. And that's, I think, one of the things we're going to have to look through in this game. Angelacho doesn't have a ton of speed on the team, and you do see the Deceit Oranaga there as well. It'll be very interesting to see if Angelacho has the stuff to kind of push through the wall before Matt can kind of close it in front of him.
It's interesting to see the Yowler on Plat's side. It's kind of going to be seen as quote-unquote a finisher Tem with the winner's call, the building blocks, just to make this thing an absolute monster late game. And I think Plat's going to be looking to bring that in as quickly as possible.
As we head into the pick and ban. So, Angelacho having blue side means we will probably be seeing Cycrox Schween coming out from Plat here, depending on what the first pick is. That's a very common opener from him. It's the Arvile on the Cycrox, means that it's very difficult for it to go down or take too much damage from a double. And the Neurotoxin's Toxic Slime is just a really high value move that he can follow up with a Strangle. We will see Vulfi come out first. Very safe first pick. There's no melee damage on Plat's team.
Getting rid of the Yowler on Plat's team, didn't want to see that winner's call building blocks shenanigans. Banning the 2-rock, it had to be either 2-rock or Tulkin there, one would assume, trying to play around with those Toxics a little bit.
Yeah, so we do see this Schween very commonly played Water Cannon opener for Plat. Usually he's always got something that either has Faraday Cage or Water Cannon to complement the Quad Toxics. And yeah, he's going to go right back into Platimus, staring down Vulfi Tulkin. This is actually a fairly threatened Tulkin on board. Aqua Bullet, Hell, and Water Cannon can do a ton of damage to it, but the bans are coming out very quick. We see the Turok and the Garunder taken out, Azrat being taken second. So Plat will follow up with, it's going to be a Cycrox plus Volgon, Gyalis, Adoro, Tyrannak from Angelacho, and last pick for Plat is Mimit. Let's get it on. Game number 1 of our second round, Plat versus Angelacho.
I feel like Tulkin had to be picked there, because if he didn't pick Tulkin in the opener, it would have probably been banned second, so we might end up seeing a swap on the Tulkin side here.
Yeah, this is a super interesting opener, to be honest with you, B-Flat. And this is one factor that plays into this match is Angelacho is a very strong player, but is relatively new to the scene, someone who hasn't really been around for a really long time. Plat has fought, like, I want to say over 500 Tulkun leads in his life. To assume that he is not ready for the Tulkun coming out here is, like... Angelacho has to clue in that, like, Plat has a plan for this. He's got something cooked, he's got something calculated that's going to stop the Tulkun, but I wonder if there's anything he can actually do about it. Let's find out. Schween out for Volgon. And it's going to be Tulkun out as well for Angelacho. Yep.
Ouroboros to protect from the poison, the toxic ticks.
Yep. The Plague does trap in Platimus, which is a nice touch there for Angelacho. And yeah, the Ouroboros not taking that Tulkun bait. So well played by Angelacho there. Toxic Skin, of course, blocked up. This is a decent board for Plat in the sense that he's got the Electric going on against the Mental, but this Volphy definitely representing a bit of a problem for the Volgon, so we'll see how Plat is able to deal with that. How will he respond? Adoro is a Tem that gives his team a lot of trouble, usually.
Volgon is sitting on that ad shot, so you might be looking for a strangle for a pivot later on in the game if it's absolutely necessary.
Oh, Synergy Arushial coming in. Volphy, if it's not got Bush, it's going to be in trouble. And Cycrox, oh, look at that Dust Vortex. Easily sponged there by Cycrox. We do see the Denigrate come out. Unfortunately for Angelacho, this is a determined Platimus, so it won't lose any special attack there. And Cycrox, who deals a lot of its damage through the Neurotoxin's Doom, doesn't really care too much about being minus special attack, but it could lower the damage of a Digi-Threat or a harmful Microwaves. So far, we're 2 turns in, sorry. Not a ton of damage on either side.
You might be seeing the Neurotoxins coming down from Cycrox on the left side here. Whatever swaps in may be taking that hit. Yeah, this is War Drum, so it's not going to be bait to push it off.
This is almost certainly a resistant Gaiala swap in here, or perhaps a bait of some kind. It is resistant, and Plat doesn't throw out the Doom move, goes for the harmful Microwaves instead, so that Denigrate minus special attack does come into play here. But the refreshing Diabolo is going to keep it going. Look at the pure damage. Just signature Senior Plat coming in here. 2 ticks on the Volphy, 2 ticks on the Gaialis. Lots of health on Plat's side. Angelacho kind of slowly losing ground here, not really able to score any large kills.
This is very textbook Plat. He likes his toxic ticks. He likes to wear down the opponent. As you can see, the Volphy is very prime example of that. Out of stamina, half HP, 2 turns of toxic. He's going to have to either look at a swap or taking a hard OX, and that's just going to put Plat into even more tempo than he even needs to be, really.
Yeah, something to bear in mind, sort of sizing up these two teams, is Angelacho playing Intimidator Tyrannak or not? That does change the dynamic between Mimit and Tyrannak in the back. If Mimit can't transform at will, it's going to be difficult. You see the Knack come in. There's the C-Bite. That's going to be solid damage into Platimus. Not enough to bring it down, though. Platimus gets off the Toxin Shower. That's a crucial evasion for next turn. It means he's not necessarily dead to Hook Kick or Sharp Stabs. And the damage is definitely present. Here comes the Microwaves, plus the Tick. Gaialis goes down.
Yep. Gaialis is down and out there. Tyrannak is nut bar here. It'll be able to take a little bit of punishment. Maybe it'll be able to pull off an outgrowth to potentially get Angelacho back in this game with a little bit of stamina control. Because I think that's kind of a tail right now, is stamina control is kind of a big thing.
No word yet whether or not we see Frightening or Intimidator from the Knack, right? Nothing has really come up yet.
Nothing.
So that's something that we're going to have to wait and see here. I would imagine Angelacho leaving the Knack in front of Double Toxic is fairly confident that he's going to be able to survive here, and this Adoro won't get doomed, which is, I think, maybe what Plat might be eyeing up here. He's got to be very careful, though. If it is Intimidator, as it winds down, the Mimit gets more and more threatening.
Mm-hmm. The Mimit is probably looking to be landing transmog, striking transmog. I know how much Plat loves to play striking transmog Mimit. Kind of make games toss-ups into the later turns.
Yeah, that is the reveal of Intimidator there, as Superconductivity was blocked by Intimidator, so there was no synergy on that Urushiol. Just a bit of chip onto the Tyrannak, who continues to be sort of threatened by this Toxin Shower coming down. And yeah, this Mimit is starting to look a little bit spooky already. If Plat, like you mentioned, striking Transmog, very valuable move. If Plat can get a hold of Angelacho's Tulkin, it's going to be really difficult for him. But we've got action in. Toxin Shower comes down. Huge damage into Tyrannak. Also,
there.
Pretty good chip into the Volgon as well.
For a double screen. No Toxic Skin. Vegas with a dodge. Oh, the Ampere Outburst. Okay.
Yeah, Plat may be hoping that he was going to be able to dodge that with the Platimus, but unfortunately for him, not so. And with everything locked in, it's actually not a very valuable Ampere Outburst for Plat at all, as he's stuck in with an overexerted Plat. Only his Volgon will be able to take an action here.
The Platimus was overexerted regardless. I think he might have wanted the Platimus to take the death there so he can get a clean swap in on the Adoro Tyrannak here, who can't move this turn.
True, Platimus did OX anyways. I wonder if Aqua
Yeah.
Bullet Hell might have been the play there. Just trying to sponge some damage. Buffy coming in here for Adoro is a pretty obvious play, and it's punished by the Strangle.
Adrenaline Shot Volgon is going to make sure it can move, but this Volphy cannot once again. Not able to move.
Yeah, and this is a rough Aquatic Whirlwind to take for anyone except for the Adoraboros, which could be covered by a Thunderstrike. Let's see if that's what Plat intends to do here to cover. But this Schween all of a sudden looking very strong. So, Angelacho behind on turns a little bit here. Volphy's out. It is Adoro coming in, doesn't want to eat the Whirlwind. And it's going to be Plat out as well. Cycrox coming in again, conserving that Volgon, maybe for a little bit later in the game.
Neurotoxin is still live.
Yeah. And Intimidator is down. Toxin Shower, connecting. Plat still not overexerting on this Platimus. It's done a great job. Ember's going to chip away at the Cycrox, but not enough to bring it down. Now the Synergy of Rushiol Toxic Slime play does look like it really threatens Angelacho here. He's got to find a way to get ahead and finally score some KOs. Plat's Tems are dropping low, but they're not dropping. And that's a big problem. If you want to win Temtem, you've got to KO them.
That poison is going to be enough. Universe with the Cycrox there. There's the Toxic Slime. That's Neurotoxins.
That could be very difficult for Angelacho if he doesn't have a way to clear it. Just looking through his list, he does have Handcuffs Volphy, so he does have a way to side clear it. And here comes the Meteorite. This should be the first KO of the match for Angelacho. Yes, Cycrox does go down, but so much value being scored there.
Yeah, Tyrannak down, 2 Picks of Doom left on Adoro. Platimus not OX still.
This Platimus has just been an absolute hero. It's been in... Has it left the board yet?
No, he led. He led with Platimus, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's just had nine turns of action and still standing. That's the Cinder Plat bulk difference, baby. All right.
Aquatic Whirlwind is pretty nice on his right side. It's either Volphy or Tulkin, and that's exactly what we see. Big damage.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Schween follow up here. It is going to get burned by Fiery Soul, but at 26.5%, it is very likely that Water Cannon is going to be enough to bring it down. And there's the Inner Spirit, so Angelacho will at least get one back here. This is going to be quite a bit of damage into Schween. Not enough to bring it down. Yeah. I can't help but think with only the Volphy left, it's time for the sideboard to come in for snrplat. This Mimit, if it steals the Volphy and gets Court Shielded, no, it's going to be Volgon instead. Making Angelacho work for it.
Yeah, this Dodoro doesn't have much time left on its side, although Volphy with a Plague to sideswipe Dodoro could push off the Doom and, you know, maybe rest the Dodoro. Takes a big Thunderstrike though still. That's a Crystal Deluge.
Yeah, the Deluge is going to stop the Volphy from doing exactly what you described. No way to protect the Adoro from going down. And so the Volphy being asleep, and then it gets strangled. So it's not going to be able to do anything next turn either, and Schween should be able to clean it up with Water Cannon. As you see the control coming in strong from the double stake board. And Plat is going to take game number 1 with this Water Cannon right here.
Yeah, I think game number 1 was all just about control in Plat's favor. There was the poison ticks where it was necessary with the Rishiel. He ended up getting it on 2 Tems at once. He had it on the Volphy and on the Gallus. He was able to place the Doom timely on the Adoro, which is what the threat was to the team. The Ampere Outburst was decent. The follow-up Strangles were great. And all around, I don't think Plat really had a lot of problems there with a fresh Mimit still in the back, able to do whatever it wanted to at will.
The number one thing you can learn from that game, if you're Angelacho, is the dynamic between Tyrannak and Plat's team is just abysmal. Not only is Knack weak to Toxic, but it's slow. And the fact that it's slow means it's so easy for Plat to get ahead of it with Toxin Shower and other moves that can like protect his Tems. And it makes it so hard to deal meaningful damage. And because Knack is such this like slow, almost not super functional behemoth, you saw that by the time Angelacho was able to reintroduce Tulkin to the game, it was just against a Plat that had too much going for it. It still had Whirlwind up, and it wasn't enough value. So look for Angelacho to try and get a little more speed going up against Plat's Tems in game number 2. So we see Turok banned out as the draft begins.
That Platimus stayed way longer than it needed to, way longer than necessary. It looked like Plat kind of threw it to the dogs there when he did that Ampere Outburst, maybe hoping for a feint there for a clean swap in, but he just was able to keep it. Toxin Shower, Aquatic Whirlwind, just kept going.
The Plat ban is interesting. It is worth noting that Plat is drafting on blue side this game, which means that Angelacho actually chose to be orange side, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's interesting. You don't normally see players choose to draft from the orange side because blue is very strong to secure your second pick, and first ban is normally quite powerful. But Plat banning up the Turok, we see Platimus banned in response. This is a very crucial 2 Tems for Angelacho. He has to get this draft right. I would imagine we see 1 mental at least to scare Yowler away, but we'll see what that is. Oh, he goes for the Volphy.
Yeah, banning the Platimus there for Angelacho is pretty much necessary, but that means he has going to have to play into this Yowler potentially later on, and that could pose some problems of its own. But like you said in the game number 1, Platimus was the hero of that game. Plat's going to have to change up strats a little bit without the Platimus this time.
Yeah, this is going to be a pick that I think takes him a little while, as we do see the Hazrat. Yeah, so this is very much a commitment to damage early on from Plat. This Hazrat is absolutely not afraid to rumble with Synergy Lava Wave threatening the Gaialis. So now, if you're Angelacho, you got a really key set of decisions to make here, because you got to make sure, first of all, your Gaialis doesn't just die to this opener, and second of all, that you're fast enough to get value on the next turn. Because the Volphy can definitely trap in the Schween, but it's really hard if you're pressured to swap out, and Plat's able to bring in that Volgon to turn on Synergy Deluge. The game can get out of hand in a hurry. So we do see Yowler banned out. Plat's going to go for the Tulkin ban, so no wins to threaten his Toxics. And he's going to get 3 of them here. No, he goes for the Volgon instead. Nid left behind. All right. Winner bracket, do or die for Angelacho. Let's get into game number 2.
So the Hazrat has marbles. It's going to be fairly bulky. Marbles is going to get double value here on the opener. Doing a little bit of chip damage on both the stamina and the HP. The stamina count is huge.
Oh, we do have the... Sorry about your stream viewers. We do have the spectator bug, so we're doing Temtem radio version now. I'm just going to go jump in and share my screen real quick so we can follow along. Oh, I already am. Perfect. So we can follow along on my screen on Discord there. Be flattened. Meanwhile, no action yet as players are sizing up their moves. Here we go. We have action. Hazrat's going to throw the lava wave out. It's targeting the Volfi this time. And that Volfi's going to drop from 95, going down to 60 as we're back into the game. They're a turn ahead of us here. The Volfi's Plague connecting on the Hazrat and trapping it in.
No, the Seize.
Oh. Is it Burglar? Oh, the Seize eliminates the handcuffs. Yes, smart play there from Plat to prevent the Hazrat from getting locked in. And Angelacho with a double gash. So Hazrat's chilling at about 67%. And you can see the Volfi not super happy with what's been going on here. It's a curious move to go for the Volfi from Plat. I wonder if he's kind of thinking about how to maneuver his Mimit, as Hazrat still took some damage and might be threatened to go down here. But we did see that the Hazrat was faster than the Volfi, which is a bit of a problem for Angelacho here, as nothing really cleanly swaps into Synergy Lava Wave at this point.
Yeah, Synergy Lava Wave will push it up to a 3 prio, and that allows this Hazrat to go first. Quite possibly not as bulky as I thought initially. This Schween is not looking too happy, though, with a Plague and the potential of a hook kick that could just freely double it here. But that would mean that Volfi would get traded out.
And if the Lava Wave is faster than the Volfi, right? The hook kick probably won't be enough to bring down Schween. But I get what you mean. It's so stressful to try and swap out of Schween. Because if you swap your Tem out, and that Schween just throws a Court Shield on something, all of a sudden you are so far behind in the game. So let's see what goes on here. It's actually Plat who's going to swap out. The Schween leaves for Volt. Maybe anticipating a double here. Keeps the super conductivity.
Yeah, that's enough to take out the Volfi.
I wonder if this is just a play, maybe trying to block hook kick.
Yeah, I feel like
there it is.
Yeah,
but it's the rat. Yeah. So Plat did predict the kick, just the wrong way. And that's pretty big damage for Hazrat, but like we said, it's the speed advantage that's sort of meaningful here. Like, if you're Angelacho, you are staring down like a Volgon T-Strike plus Hazrat Lava Wave, and nothing is super happy in your backline of taking that now that Garunder has hit the board here as the side piece Tem.
Garunder looking for probably an opening clay ball. Skialis is not liking this Hazrat being alive still. That Lava Wave is going to be a huge hit. There's a swap there.
Skialis leaves for Adoro. What does Plat do? Just stays in and throws hands. It's going to be Lava Wave going into the Adoraboros. He's waving, he's waving! You see the gear turned off. That's going to be no double screen for Adoraboros here.
At 10% is not
what is the reply?
It is Clay Ball. That'll take out the Hazrat.
Yeah, we do see a little bit of Toxic Farewell chip there. Volgon goes the other way. Yeah. 80 shot Strangle.
Shot. Volgon would have Empiro burst up here at this point.
Absolutely. Which can create a very devastating turn when paired with Cycrox.
Kind of locks his Garunder down. There's a Cycrox.
Yep. But, oh man, this Tyrannac's got to get in here, otherwise something's going to get doomed, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
The Doro has to run away.
Something's got to run away, one way or the other. You would imagine the Garunder also very valuable to keep for Angelacho. It is trapped in. Ampere Outburst is primed and ready, but I wonder... Neurotoxins definitely looks pretty threatening.
All I can see
but
right
the Tyrannac
now is
can block
a lot
it.
of temper for Plaid. Because the Garunder can't move this turn. The Adoro is probably wanting to swap out. That's just one free turn for Plat. And then if you go with the Ampere Outburst to double up on it, that's just going to be another free turn for Plat.
Absolutely. Oh, Volgon says, where are you going, guys? Big cage play from Plat. That means no Gyalis can come in, and the Toxic Slime's going to land. That's Neurotoxin right into it. Huge play from Plat there, stopping the swap out of the Garunder. Denigrate's going to land. That actually is a pretty meaningful Denigrate, as it's going to lower the special attack on Volgon and Cycrox. But now, trapped in, can't get the Garunder out. Does Angelacho have a way of his own to clear it? Maybe a Misogi on the Adoraboros, like we saw Skarsing do? Sorry, not Skarsing, Kunders do. Got my clowns mixed up there. And in the meantime, this Adoraboros is trapped in front of some pretty strong stuff. Buys the Electric Blow. Yeah.
Reactive Bile. Still no double sprint on the Adoro, so that's going to be full damage.
The beta coming in on the Cycrox.
There's the Ampere.
And now this Garunder is a sitting duck, not going anywhere. And it looks like it is done. No help coming from the Adoro, both Tems overexerted. So it will leave
because he knows it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hold up on Gyalis, though.
Absolutely. Meaningful play there as Schween comes in.
Oh, the strangle on Doro, locking it down again.
There is absolutely no desire from snrplat to let this Adoro do anything, and we did see the Schween swap in, actually protecting the Volgon from the Toxic Skin, which means it's definitely not in range of a Crystal Bite KO here. And it also has to be a little bit wary. To be honest with you, I think Plat has to be a little bit wary here. Tyrannak has been saved towards the end, but even though he's up Tems, this Gyalis and Adoro are actually a huge problem for everything he has left. The Gyalis threatens Volgon.
Schween.
Yeah, and as long as Mimit... oh, is he going to swap in Mimit here? No, it's Cycrox.
Sacrificial, maybe?
He's trying to get the Cycrox to faint while Gyalis Adoraboros is on the board.
Trying to get
There's the hook kick.
Oh, that's big damage. War Drum helping out with the hook kick there.
Mm-hmm. This is crucial here now. Plat has to try to find a way to get one of these two Tems to go down while Tyrannak is not on the board. That gives him a free Mimit. I think if Mimit takes control of either Gyalis or Adoraboros, Plat just has enough value to win the game. But he's going to swap out again.
There's a
he's bringing the Mimit in. Seabite. Connecting with Gyalis.
Schween goes down.
But he did manage to get the Mimit onto the board.
Mimit is free.
Maybe not exactly free.
No.
Yeah.
That's actually not that bad damage. It is nut bar too.
Yeah, definitely an acceptable level of damage. Volgon coming in, but you can see that Plat is he's kind of running out of ways to deal with Knack at this point. He kind of is forced to take over Adoraboros here. But
any damage on this Tyrannak is going to be vital.
Yeah, but if he gives up the he's going to get hit pretty hard if he does take the Adoro, but he will do so. I think this is tilting
so that he doesn't take as much damage when he doesn't transform on turn 1, I believe. Along with the +2 speed.
Mm-hmm. We see Thunderstrike here.
Not enough time. Not able to.
Yeah, outsped perhaps. The Volgon goes down. So it's Cycrox Adoraboros. This Adoro has a ton of work to do for Plat. It's not impossible that he could get it done.
It is not bar.
As, I mean, the Mimit does kind of give the Knack huge problems, especially if he's got Virulent Gust. But it's a lot of HP to ask for from the Mimit here. So Angelacho conserving the Gyalis and Adoro for later in the game, very valuable for him as he's managed to kind of pull away here. This hook kick should be enough to bring down Cycrox, and if this doesn't overexert Gyalis, Angelacho's in a great spot.
See if he takes damage.
Yes, very well done.
Oh wow, perfect stand.
Yep. And we do see that Denigrate is not quite a 2-hit KO. Although, Angelacho is kind of caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place here. He's going to get his own Denigrate in onto the Mimit, which is solid damage, but the Nut Bar almost healing Plat back up from that.
The minus special attack is going to be something to note.
Yes, it is definitely a factor. Perhaps also a bit of a factor is the Gyalis can't actually attack without dying here. So it needs to get out. But I think Plat can kind of... Or I think Angelacho can kind of work with that. I think there's definitely an opportunity.
Full sending a Crystal Bite with War Drum here?
I think the biggest question is after how many Denigrates can Adoraboros still KO Gyalis with Inner Spirit? Because I'm fairly certain Plat's Adoraboros is going to be faster than Angelacho's Gyalis. There's the V-Gust. Does read the swap.
That's pretty good damage with the -1.
I don't think Plat's got enough bulk on the Mimit to win this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but we'll see.
It is Nut Bar, but like 1v3? No way. He's hanging onto that Crystal Bite too on Gyalis.
Oh yeah, that's way too much damage to take from members there. It's going to be really tough.
No Toxic Skin ticks either. It's minus special attack again.
I don't think... Oh, there's the overexertion. I don't think Angelacho was meant to overexert there. That's a little bit sus, but we do see the concede come out. All right, we're getting to Game 3 here.
Game 3.
This is going to be super interesting to see how the players adjust. We definitely did see that adjustment from Angelacho there in game number 2, saving the Tyrannac for the end, like not letting it sit on board in front of those Toxics, which meant that he was able to use it to deny Mimit value, and then ultimately kind of have it as this big bulky win condition in the end, while Gyalis and Adoraboros sort of gave his Plat's team fits.
He kind of forced the Mimit's hand into the Adoro, and that allowed Angelacho to kind of pivot well into whatever Mimit wanted to swap into. He focused down on the left slot to take out the Cycrox and Volagon, and then he was just able to focus on the Mimit directly, rather than dealing with a Mimit and a partner with it. So taking his chops where he was able to was pretty vital for Angelacho there.
Yeah, we do see a different opener this time from Angelacho, because we see the opener of the Cycrox from Plat. So I'm not going for the Schween out of the gate here.
Getting rid of the Platimus helped Angelacho in game 2. Decided to take it out in game 3 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if we see Mimit here from Plat. I don't imagine we do. This is probably a Schween opener, but the Mimit could be very interesting to take the Tulkin, sort of give Angelacho a lot of problems in that respect.
And he wouldn't be able to swap it out because Striking Transmog goes before swaps now. The Water Cannon is what he's probably looking for.
Yeah, this is...
forcing this Tulkin's hand a little bit.
This is likely a turn 1 swap out of the Tulkin now. We see Hazrat Band in the back. The Rat was pretty valuable for Plat last game, but we see a different second ban here. Adoro not being picked up early on. Yeah, it's going to go now instead of the Tulkin. And Plat is going to
Yowler.
Right, the Yowler, yeah, exactly.
Big Bear is here.
Now this is going to be a very interesting change up here, as Yowler kind of transforms the back half of the draft for Plat a little bit, as it gives him that alternative win condition. And with like so many Tems in the back that are so good into Naga, I can't imagine. Oh, we do see it. Okay.
He does pick Naga. Okay.
So I wonder if the Naga is sleeping and staying in the back here to try and deal with the Yowler later in the game. This is it. Game number 3.
The Nidrasil is also a new pick for Plat in this game. We didn't see it in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a mom's lunch nid, so it's a very, very useful pivot. But it doesn't have the best matchups in this game. It does pretty well into, Knack and Volfi, and of course Naga, but Gyalis and Tulkin are real problems for it. But again, this turn 1, super important. Plat likely just looking to get some ticks on the board, and maybe get neurotoxins going. I have to imagine Angelacho is not going to take the bait of just going for Tyrannac again and letting Plat kind of create that tempo swing. But with no Platimus in the game, it actually is a lot harder for Plat to do that. So let's see kind of what the Tamers decide to do here.
The only thing we know for sure is that Water Cannon is happening, and that Water Cannon is going to be placing Toxic Ticks on something. There's no Doro, there's no Garunder. He decides to stay with Tulkin.
Yeah, he's got the Schween trapped in place, but on the other hand, there's the Strangle.
Oh no.
But Plat didn't bring Volgon. He has no Deluge swap this turn. So this Tulkin is actually relatively safe on the board. It's going to take a Toxic Tick, but the Schween can't be helped here. It's going to go down. Yeah, smart by Angelacho. He's just going to go ahead and get Gyalis in for free holds here, as this Schween is totally checked. Yowler coming in the other way.
Speaking of holds.
Can it live a Plague?
No.
It can't. So Plat gets the Yowler on the board, starts building towards Winter Call, but this is a great opening sequence here for Angelacho, I would imagine. Pretty hard to be upset with that.
It's turn 1 building blocks as well for the Yowler, as well as 1 hold for the Winter's Call.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this is Mimit.
I would imagine it's a Nid. Oh, no, you do see Mimit. He goes right for it.
Mimit.
Are we going to see what I think we're about to see? Is it Barraclock?
Swaps can't happen. Just going to be a hidden transform into something.
Surely with a Naga in the back, it's not Barraclock.
It might just be Gyalis here. Tulkin and Tyrannac are here, but Gyalis is fairly decent on this board. Although Volfi is also going to be proving to be a decent temp to take as well.
Yeah,
that is going to be the
Volfi get taken. Oh, and the Gyalis swaps out. Wow.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's Naga.
Oh. Angelacho thought it was Barraclock. But Volfi is trapped in, and at +2 speed, that's actually not at all much of a problem for Naga, who is going to take this suplex pretty well. Yeah, about 19%. Naga, unfortunately, does do this thing where it, knocks itself out over time. So that's definitely a factor. It's not the happiest time to stay in front of a Plague either. And it looks like a really, really good Nid swap for Plat, so I would imagine Angelacho wants to try and create some protection there, but I gotta say, this fast Mimited Volfi is actually a bit of a problem. It can take down the Tulkin, it can deal huge damage to Gyalis, it doesn't really scared of Tyrannac or Volfi itself, and it can create a lot of space for Cycrox and Nid, which is, I think, sort of the plan here for Plat. But let's see how well that plan actually executes, because, he's down a Tem, and he's down some HP here, only really having an advantage in terms of stamina.
Naga's Fury is also really useless on the board of Plat. Even if he swaps into anything, Naga's Fury isn't doing anything at all, so that's pretty much considered one move being minus tier on this Naga.
The 4th move on the Naga matters a lot here. If it's Hypnosis, and Angelacho can just sleep the Mimit and swap the Gyalis in, it's actually pretty good. But, see if that's what Plat is thinking about.
This has to be a Nid board, right? Because Naga is here pretty much strictly for the Yowler.
I would imagine Nid comes in here, absolutely. I'm just not sure what Angelacho will do in response. Maybe it's just damage onto the Mimit.
Probably, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Volfi leaves. Yeah, Gyalis, this makes sense.
He's stays with Yowler.
He
Okay.
stays and gets hit
Oh,
on Yowler. Oh, it's the Hibernate turn.
it should be warm-blooded. Yep.
Yeah. The DV, he calls the Gyalis coming in.
Wow.
And that's going to be building blocks on the Yowler. I think that's a trade you absolutely take if you're plat. Wow.
He lost.
Wow.
Because he was like 100% on the Yowler, but like getting the building blocks up, getting the Hibernate up for stand count, the DV on the Gyalis to take it more than 50% HP, Naga taking another 15% on the start of the turn. That was a huge plat turn there. Predicting the Gyalis to swap in was huge. It was vital to kind of shift the tides a little bit.
That was some absolute Naga disrespect there. Now it's the Nid turn. But the Naga's going to be low on stamina here. Resistant blocks it. It's a double swap. Is it Cycrox, I believe, coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Naga goes for the Hypno. Onto Nid. Hook kick.
Cycrox.
Not bad.
27% there. War Drum helping it out a little bit.
And there goes the Naga again. Third turn of Deceit. This is the final turn of Deceitor now, and once again, just hasn't really gotten much accomplished.
Naga has to swap here, and Plat's probably looking for that Naga swap so that he can set up a Neurotoxins on Cycrox. Is my thought. And if he doesn't swap out Naga, he kills Naga and Yowler's free.
This could also be some sort of play to like wake up the Nid and then go for a Side Spores or a Toxic Ink, but nope, we see him leave.
Swap. Back to Yowler. This would be winner's call then, I believe.
Is just getting more holds up.
I think he would have it up next turn. I believe that's turn 5.
No, you need one more turn to get it to go.
5 hole. Oh yeah, 5 hole. So it's one more.
Yeah.
Right, because the building blocks is 3 turns, and then building blocks happen before. No, building blocks happen the same turn as Hibernate. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs one more turn.
Yeah,
but he is a turn closer to Hibernate being back up, and there are no more mentals to threaten it. And he's building. This Nid has Bark Shield up now as well, or close to it. The Nid has Spores available to heal, and he's got Mimit Bulky to help him control things. So he's definitely going to try and like build around this Yowler. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we'll see. As Knack leaves for Naga.
Naga. He has to challenge this Yowler.
Traps it in.
It's a good call.
Oh, the Toxic Slime. Not enough to bring it down. Yeah. Did he double? He did. The Naga's down.
Oh no. What a prediction. You knew the Naga had to come in.
It's not all over for Angelacho, by any stretch of the imagination. One thing we should point out is that the Yowler's trapped in, so Angelacho can bring in Tyrannac, and this actually stops Plat from being able to hibernate because of Warm-Blooded. However, it also turns off his Team Elusive, which means he's going to get frozen by Winter Call here.
It's also going to give a stat buff to Yowler as well, the +3 attack.
Yeah, the Toxic Slime cranking damage into Tyrannac. And there it is. Oh! The Team Elusive Intimidator's not on!
Wait.
The Intimidator bug comes into play here.
Bug, or was Tyrannac just swapping in and out enough times?
No, it's missing a turn.
Oh yeah. So that must have been
because it came in off a death. No, it swapped in and then it came in again off a death, so it should still be up, but Plat maybe miscounted turns there. But it also might not matter. Like Plat just has Hibernate here, and at +2 SP def, this Volphy has no gas. No way to really hurt it.
They get the +3 as well. Building blocks did go through.
Cycrox out. The
Volpe.
Mimited Volpe is in.
There's
Yeah,
the
and
grenade.
Angelacho just rests. This Yowler is massive.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of answers for this Yowler right now.
Well, it's
Um,
definitely... There are some answers. Angelacho does have some pure damage available, and he can control the stamina of the Yowler using the handcuffs on the Volpe. Sorry, using the Plague on the Volpe. He has ways to
Plague
use
Volpe
statuses
and,
to sort of slow the roll here.
Fire
But he's
Whistle,
going to start
Volpe.
losing stuff. He's going to start losing things really quick here. As DV hits Knack,
It's good
there's
damage.
the Plague.
Trying to control that stamina a little bit, like you mentioned. It is trapped in now. Let's see if it swings.
Oh, the overexertion's not what you want to see. Plat is totally happy to just rest, and the suplex takes down the Knack.
This is where
He has to
Losing
show something that'll die. The Tolkien can't come into play because the Mimit outspeeds it.
has to be Gaialis, which means that
DV
DV
is
is
down.
down at the moment, but Sludge Gift might be enough for the Gallus.
I would imagine, given the way that Plat's Mimit was last game in terms of like the damage it was dealing, that he probably doesn't KO here. Yeah, he's no special attack, I think. And that could matter. Angelacho gets it to 36.
There's
Yowler goes for the clinch.
+3 attack, that's some damage.
He has a KO now on the Gaialis. The Volpe has to be able to punch through with building blocks. Don't think it's going to be. No, he just leaves. Nid coming in. The tunnel vision on Yowler. Maybe going to get punished here.
He gets Gallus or Tolkien here regardless. On that left slot, yeah.
And Volpe does throw the DV. Flat dodging with Nid.
And the overexert with the mom's lunge. Big
Mhm.
damage. That should pretty much just call this game right there. Last couple of turns really put that in favor of Plaid.
Yeah, absolutely.
DV.
I think a really just very clean demonstration of, first of all, Naga disrespect. Second of all, how scary Yowler is in this sort of like
Yeah.
numbers-based team. So GG's to both. Plat taking the set. It's going to move on to day 2. I will say though, huge shout outs to Angelacho for game 2. That was a complete, like, after game 1 where Platimus just like sat on the board and completely trolled him, he turned it around with a ban and forced a game 3, what I thought was like a really well played game number 2. Definitely made Plat sweat a little for sure. But man, I gotta say, it does not look good for the Naga believers after the sets we've seen so far here today.
Yeah, like you mentioned in game 2, Angelacho really did a 180 because it looked pretty dominating for Plaid in game number 1. It almost seemed like a 2-0 was going to be decided very quickly. But yeah, banning the Platimus was a lot of value to get that tide shifted. Also saving the Tyrannac for the Mimit in the back and valuing that more than anything else was also vital. But that game number 3, the Yowler just got way too scary way too quickly, and then the prediction on the Naga coming in to deal with the Yowler getting doubled up when Cycrox and Yowler hit it just allowed Yowler to run away with the game. Winner's Call, +3 attack, building blocks. You had Nidrasil with spores. You had the potential of, Volpe even being able to heal it. We don't know the full move set. There was just way too many Yowler-related things to, even 1v5 if it had to.
And that's the beauty of Plat's team, right? Is that he's so quickly able to gear shift, like in situations where just kind of value ticking people down and making smart swaps isn't worth it. He's able to do things like, okay, I'm going to have my Mimit steal this Volpe, so I'm like protected against a bunch of your Tems. So your Tolkien now can't play the game anymore. Your Gaialis can't really play the game anymore. And oh, you've got this Naga? I'm just going to stay in and hibernate in front of it because I know I have healing tools to keep my Yowler going. So it's like all of a sudden, Angelacho doesn't ban the Yowler in second phase, and Plat just immediately gear shifts into a raid boss team, finds his avenue to get things set up, and plays a completely different style. Instead of just going for value swaps, he switches to Yala Raid Boss, and it's that's one of the really cool things Plat's able to do with very few Tems. Anyways, that's it for us for this game. We're going to get game number 2 of the winners bracket quarterfinals with everybody's favorite casters, Gag Bomb and Jay Dorigon. So watch this spot. Don't go away.
What's up, Mr. J?
What's up, Mr. Yak? That was a pretty in-depth and intense set.
It truly was. It's it's a sad day when the Temtem villain strikes again. Quad
exactly
Toxics plus Yowler. This man's got to be stopped. What more can be said than the man is banned in the official Discord? We gotta knock him out of this tournament. Come on now.
Now, what are your thoughts on the games themselves?
Games themselves are actually pretty well played. Game 1, Matt, Senior Plat had quite the dominating lead with the Platimus. Just kind of got ticks on everything. Just stay alive with our discrete math formula, and then just took the win. Game 2, Angelacho had a really nice adjustment, but we saw the game 3 that the Yowler itself, we didn't ban it, we didn't respect it enough, especially not with the Naga. The Naga is not going to be enough, especially if you're taking chip early.
Yeah, I really liked how, like, game 1 especially, Matt was really able to leverage the disruption and control aspects from the Volgon to create space for his team with the Strangling and Pure Outburst Strangle locks, and then the Diabolo onto the Cyclops as well really gave him a huge advantage in that game.
Yeah, really. Really, it's that type of space that Volgan can create for this type of team, especially when you're putting ticks on things. It opens up so much space for you to move around and maneuver and get other Tems in, get some holds up. This team is really well crafted. It's a good team. What can we say? It is what it is.
All right, and we're going to take a break now shortly, and after the break, we're going to move on to Cepheus versus Urem.